Hello again. My name is Mrs. Fithian and I'm a kindergarten teacher at Hebron Elementary. I'm so pumped that you came back to join me as we continue on our math adventure and continue comparing objects or numbers as we learn about greater than, less than, and equal to. All right, so you know that I like to get started by taking a few deep breaths, and last week we worked on some breathing called hot cocoa breathing or hot chocolate breathing, and today we're going to do something a little more summery. That was a kind of wintry, but I drink hot cocoa all the time, so I felt like it was still okay. But this time we're going to think about those beautiful yellow flowers that plague my front yard, so dandelions. So we're going to be doing some dandelion breathing. Now, not with the yellow dandelion, but with the beautiful white puff that it turns into at the end. And a lot of you probably like to do what my kids like to do, which is pick up the puff and run around and watch the seeds scatter, or blow the puff and see them scatter. So we're going to be taking in a deep breath through our nose, remembering to push out our bellies as we breathe instead of just from here. And we're going to be thinking about smelling the yellow dandelion, and then we'll pause and then blow out through our mouth to blow away all the seeds, okay, and thinking about them scatter. So this one is really breathing, but also thinking and visualizing that calming effect of them floating away, all right? So you can hold your dandelion or you can just think of it as you're breathing. So we're going to take, let's do 5 today. So in through our nose, pushing out that belly, and then out through our mouth. And I'll count to 5 on my fingers, and we'll try to do 5 deep breaths of in for 5 and out for 5. Ready? Three more. Last one. Good job. And now we're calm and ready to go. All right, so the first 2 lessons that we did together, we were using Beanie Babies. And as you can see, I brought a couple friends back. But this time, we're going to be doing something just a little different. I had a friend who brought me 2 birthday bags, and she told me that I could choose one of them to open. And so she gave me 2 cards with the number of Beanie Babies that are inside. So she gave me 17, and then in this bag, she said there were 12, but she told me I could only open one of the bags, so I have to decide which one do I want. And if you watched last week, you know that I really love Beanie Babies and I want to add more to my collection. So I need your help figuring out which bag has more in it. Would it be 17 or would it be 12? Now, this is tough because last time we were actually counting the groups and matching the bears. We used those 2 strategies, counting and matching. This time, we're really going to focus on the big idea of I can pair numbers or numerals and find out which number is bigger or greater and which one is less. So today we're really just going to focus on which one has more or is greater, but we're not going to be counting the bears or objects. We're really going to be focusing on just the numerals or the numbers. So I'm a little nervous that I'm going to pick the wrong bag, so maybe you'll be able to help me, and I'll give you a little hint. If you tune in tomorrow, we're going to open both bags after I choose the one I want to keep, okay? So you'll have to figure out which team you're on, team 17 or team 12, okay? So to kick us off and really get us thinking about comparing those numbers and looking at just the numbers and which one could be greater or less than or equal to, which means the same, we have this awesome video that I found. It's by education.com, but it's on YouTube under Brainsy Games by education.com, and it is fabulous. It's very catchy, it's very short, but I often am humming this song to myself while I'm thinking about how can I compare these numbers and what does it really mean when I'm looking at the numbers trying to decide. So let's check it out.
Comparing numbers, that's the game. Bigger, smaller, or the same. Comparing numbers, one is true. Greater than, less than, or equal to. Take one group, then another. Measure them against each other. Which set has more when you count? Or do they have the same amount? Comparing numbers, That's the game. Bigger, smaller, or the same. Comparing numbers, one is true. Greater than, less than, or equal to.
Okay. I love that song. It's so catchy. You should really check out that YouTube channel. There's so many more songs, and there's several about comparing numbers, but that one's truly my favorite. So as you saw on the tags of those dogs, we could see that some of the numbers, they were indicating that it was a larger number or more, and some of them were a smaller or less amount, and then some of them were the same. And we've talked about those twice, about what it means to be the same or equal and have the same amount. Now we're going to start slow because I told you the last two lessons I really like to have the visual. I love having a picture and really helping me make something click. But I know that I really need to push my brain and push my thinking and be able to compare those numerals or numbers. So we're going to take baby steps as we get there today. You might be ahead of me. I'm sure you're already ready to go with the numbers, but I need to just take a couple smaller steps, all right? So let's look at some examples here. Now I used my bears again. This is really easy to relate to, I think by now. And let's take a look at these two groups. The question that we started a couple lessons ago was which group is greater, and that was our big time word. I hope some of you have been using that word at home to impress some people. But which group is greater or has more? And so a couple lessons ago, we actually went through and counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Today I'm adding the number. And then let's count our brown bears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we'll add the number over here. Now I remember some of you were already prepared to compare those numbers without counting the bears. But then we also matched them up. So we said 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, and we saw that we had some, left over. So we already knew that this group would be greater or had more bears in it. But today we're going to maybe take it another step. So let's look here, and we're going to use, maybe, this number line at the bottom to help us. Now, if you're thinking, well, great, Mrs. Fithian, I don't have a number line. It's okay. I didn't have one either, other than on the board. So I'm going to show you how to make one at home at the end of today's lesson. Okay, so no sweat. Now, you can see that I shrunk my groups of bears to make it easier for us to see, and I kept the numbers you helped me find. We had 8 of the blue bears, and we had 10 of the brown bears. Now, we're going to need to make this look a little different so we can drag them down to our number line. So would you snap your fingers when I count to 3? 1, 2, 3. All right, now we have them in a different arrangement. So now they're stacked and easier to move. So we're going to slide these bears down to the 8 on our number line. And let's take a second to check this out. Our number line has a 0 and goes to 20. You'll notice this arrow on the end tells me that the number line could keep going because are there numbers larger than 20? Absolutely. But remember, I told you last week that we're really focusing on being pros at 0 to 20. So we're just going to look at these numbers for now. All right, and then my group of 10, I'm going to drag down to match the 10 on the line. And that would look like this. So now we can see visually with our eyes that this group of brown bears is larger or bigger or has more than the group of 8 blue bears. But remember, we really want to take away those pictures and just focus on the numbers themselves. So we are going to be using the number line to help us. So if I didn't look at the picture and I just looked at the 8 and the 10, I need another strategy because I told you I'm very visual. I need my eyes to give me some little tricks. To remember that as my numbers go this way to our right, the numbers are greater and have more value than the number before it. And as my numbers go to the left, they mean it's a group of fewer or less, and the value is smaller. So let's learn a little bit more about the number line before we practice. So here's a good visual. I chose a mouse to put on this end of our number line. And the numbers get smaller when we count that way. And really, smaller is not our best word, but we know that smaller and fewer and least and less can all be a little bit interchangeable when we're talking about comparing numbers. And then I used an elephant over here because the numbers get greater, like a great big elephant, when we count this way. Now, it's important to know that 20 is not the greatest number we could come up with. We could think of all the way to 100 if we wanted to, or even further. And we would just keep moving that elephant to the right. And same with our mouse. We would just keep shooting him off there to the left, okay? But let's check out another video by Harry Kindergarten. He has a YouTube channel that is also fabulous. And we're going to really think about a skill that you've already learned called counting more, or one more. And we're going to see how we can do that with the number line. And you're going to love this video because you get a chance to yell out at the TV. So let's take a look here. And let me jump this way first. All right. So let's check out this video by Harry Kindergarten.
Mathematicians who are really right know that when you get more, you go to the right. Please don't wonder anymore. If you go to the right, you'll always get more.
After you hear my number, say out loud what number would be one more, and clap to the right.
5, 6, 2, 3, 8, 9, 1, 2, 7, 8, 4, 5, 9, 10, 3, 4, 6, 7, 0, 1. Mathematicians who are really right know that when you get more, you go to the right. Please don't wonder anymore. If you go to the right, you'll always get more.
This time, after you hear my number, say out loud what number would be one more, and slide to the right.
1, 2, 9, 10, 0, 1, 7, 8, 4, 5, 8, 9, 3, 4, 6, 7, 5, 6, 2, 3. Mathematicians who are really right know that when you get more, you go to the right. Please don't wonder anymore. If you go to the right, you'll always get more.
This time, after you hear my number, say out loud what number would be one more, and stomp your foot to the right.
8, 9, 2, 3, 6, 7, 1, 2, 9, 10, 7, 8, 4, 5, 3, 4, 0, 1, 5, 6. Mathematicians who are really right know that when you get more, you go to the right. Please don't wonder anymore. If you go to the right, you'll always get more.
Okay. Wasn't that fun? Getting to sing along and then move or clap or stomp your feet. So it really helps you remember that when we're looking at our number line for these problems and we move to the right, we are adding more to the value of our groups or our numbers. Okay? So let's look at some numbers and try to compare together, because in your packet today you're going to be given two numbers and then you have to decide which one is greater or more. All right? So let's look at how we could do that together. All right. Let's see. So which number is greater? We have 3 and we have 5. Now, I told you we were going to take some baby steps here. So I'm going to use this number line to find 3 and 5 and kind of see which one's a little bit closer to that elephant or on the right. So 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 5 right here. So here's the two numbers I'm comparing. Now, if you already know which one it is, that's great. And I see a couple of you nodding, so I know you do. But I'm going to need those baby steps. So I'm going to draw some counters above these numbers. So how many counters do you think I'll draw above 3? 3, because 3 stands for 3, right? So here are my counters, 1, 2, 3. And how many would I have above 5? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's starting to click for some of you who need that visual. 5 is more than 3. We could even use our matching strategy. And I see that I have some left, so 5 is bigger or more or greater. Okay? Now let's do another one, but we're going to take away the counters. This time I'm looking at 11. So count up to 11 with me. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And our next number is 17. Had we passed 17 yet? Nope. So let's keep counting on, which should be a clue. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Look at how far to the right that number 17 is past our 11. So if I'm using my visual of my elephant, which is greater as I go to the right on my number line, 17 would be greater than 11. Let's practice a math sentence using that word. Say the number 17 is greater than the number 11. Say it one more time. The number 17 is greater than the number 11. Excuse me, 11. Whew. So the 17 is greater. I got choked up on math. All right, let's do one more. Which number is greater? We have 12 and 8. So let's find them on the number line. 12 first, count with me. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I think I already heard the number 8. I'm going to back up a little bit. There's a clue. 8. Which number is further to the right on our number line, indicating that it would be more or greater? Yeah, the 12. Very nice. The 12 is over here further. We also know that if we were at 8 and we were counting on, each time we count on, we're adding more to the value of that number. All right. Now let's do a quick check. If you turn in your packet, it is page 6, and it says day 3 at the top. We have a couple examples of what we just did, and I've put it on the screen here for you to see. It says circle the greater number in each box. So the first set is 15 and 7. Now, on your packet, you don't have that number line. But I have it here for you, and I'm going to show you later how you can make it. So we'll do a couple of these with me, and then when it gets to the time where you can do these at home, you can also find them online if you search for them, or you might already have a great one that you've been using all year, or you can listen to me on how you can make one. All right, so let's use mine for now. So the numbers are 15 and 7. 15 first. So I'm going to scan here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And 7, which I know I passed. So which number is farther to the right? Very good, 15. So you would circle 15 in your packet. Now I'm going to have to learn that eraser. Let's see. I got it. Maybe. Oh, that's even better. Okay. Learned a new trick. Let's look at this one. 2 and 10. So let's scan our number line. Maybe. Here's 2. And here's 10. And which number is greater or more? Further to the right. That 10. All right? Now, you're going to keep doing these at home. This was just a quick check for you and I to do together. So if you're doing great, no sweat. If you need help, you know how to reach out, and we can get a hold of someone who can help you with those. All right? But I think you're all set. Now, let's look at building a greater group. We did this in our first lesson. We were looking at how many dots we had, and then we were building, a group of one more. I'm drawing all over this board. We were building a group of one more. We're not going to do what we did last time because you're going to get to expand your brain as we try it a different way. So you'll see the boxes here at the bottom and our trusty number line. So how many? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to put an 8 in the box and circle it on the number line. Now I'm going to draw a greater group or a group of more. Last time when we were talking about more, we just did one more, and one more would be 9. But this time you're going to get to choose a group that is greater any number all the way to our 20. Remember we said we'd stop at 20. So you can pick any number you want. Just yell it out. Oh, that was a good one. Okay. I heard someone say 11, and if I look, 11 is greater than 8, and then I'm going to draw 11 counters. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay? If you chose any number from 9 to 20, you're set. If you chose a number 7 all the way down to 0, that would be a number that is less, and that's what we're doing tomorrow. Okay? All right, let's try another one. Let's count how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And let's pick a greater group. All right, so you think of a number and shout one out, and I'll take, oh, I already heard one. Love it. I heard 19. Here's my 19. And let's draw our counters. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And 19 is greater than 11. All right, another quick check. This is the same thing, so I'm actually not going to have you do this because there aren't very many and I want you to get all that practice at home. But when you see this in your packet, it's the exact same thing. You're going to count the objects, write the number, and then you get to pick another number bigger than the one you already had or greater, okay? Now I told you that I'd show you how to make a number line, so I'm going to skip through a couple of these. Let's pause right here. So saying a number that is greater than 18. So here's my 18, and I want you to look at this number line and think, what is a number that is greater than 18? Remember, as we go to the right, we get greater. Very good. If you picked 19 or 20, you're exactly right. Those were the only two numbers left on our number line that are to the right and are greater. Okay. Now, this is what I wanted to show you. What we can do at home. More to explore. We have a couple things here. First, I want to show you the number line. In your packet, I believe it is page 21. It's very close to the end. It's 21. It's a sheet that looks like this. And these are number cards, and they go all the way to 20. The website is also listed where you can access those for free. And so if you need another copy, you can get those. But I also took some paper I had at home. I did not have all my teacher tools that I normally keep in the classroom. I just had some paper, tape, and those cards and scissors. So what I did is I cut out those cards and spaced them on some pieces of paper and practiced by going from 1 to 20. And I didn't have a 0 to stick on the end, but you could write that in. And so now I'm going to use this and move my surprise bags here. And I'm going to use this number line to help me. So if we wanted to compare some numbers, you could use this line. You can also use it to put objects on to check and use that matching strategy if you need more support. So let's take a look. I'm just going to pick these, 7 and 12. I'm going to find 7 and then 12. Here are my two numbers. Now, if I wanted to, I could use my buttons, or I could use cotton balls, or even my Beanie Babies, and stack 7 here and stack 12 here and see which number is greater. Or I could remember the mouse might be at this end and the elephant would be at this end, and I can look between 7 and 12, which one is further to the right. That would be the 12, so the 12 is greater. Now, this number line is going to come in very handy for the next couple lessons, so if you choose to make that, awesome. If you don't want to make that and you want to keep your cards how they are, that's okay. You can always draw it. You could go outside with some sidewalk chalk and draw a number line and draw stars above the numbers or hearts or anything that you like. Okay, so there's one resource that you can use. We also have a game. Now, I have some playing cards at home. I think they have Mario on them because they're my son's. But you might have some cards that you could use. It doesn't have to be like this. It could have characters on it. What we really want is the number. If you don't have playing cards, you can also use these number cards again. So what you do is you would flip over a card. And for example, I flipped a 4. Then I'm going to flip over another card. And on my first turn, I flipped a 9. Is the 9 greater than the 4? If you need support, you could use the number line. Or you might know that, yes, 9 is greater than 4. So I get to keep the card. Let's say my next flip, I flip a 2. Is 2 greater than 4? No, it's further the other way on our number line to the left, so it would be smaller. So I don't keep that one. So you can play this game alone. You could play it with a friend, and you get to keep the card that's greater. Okay? And we'll talk about this game again tomorrow to see how we can use this when we're playing with less. And then you also have extra practice problems in your packet. So here you're going to be writing a number that's greater, just like we did a few minutes ago. You just yelled one out. So you have 7. You could yell out a number that's greater, and you're all set. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Today's code word is coffee, C-O-F-F-E-E. So make sure that you send that in and let us know that you were watching, and practice in your packet and try some of those games at home. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.